Mair Smyth came into the life of reality TV producer Johnathan Walton as an angel, promising friendship in a time of need. But one day, after years at each other's side, Johnathan learned the terrible truth about his so-called best friend. The story of the Irish heiress is today's True Crime Chronicles.
Residents of a Los Angeles apartment building meet to tackle a pressing matter. A legal dispute has barred them from using the building's swimming pool. Johnathan Walton, a resident of the building, discusses with his neighbors next steps they should take. One person catches his attention, a new member. Mair Smyth makes a memorable impression on the group.
Her name was Mair Smyth. She introduced herself as Mair Smyth. She moved into my building in 2013. She came to one of the meetings and she stole the show. Everybody loved her. She was funny. She was vivacious. She told dirty jokes. And she seemed so kind. She went around the room and offered to help everyone.
Soon, the pair begin what Johnathan believes will become a lifelong friendship.
In a very short time, I fell in love with her. You know, as much as any gay man can love a woman, she became like a sister to me. You know, when I confided in her that part of my family had disowned me for being gay, she pounced. With tears in her eyes, she told me, well, my family disowned me too because they're trying to get me disinherited.
Mair reveals to Johnathan that she is an Irish heiress and set to inherit millions of dollars. But Mair says the DA has frozen her assets, preventing her from accepting the money. Mair needs financial assistance until her inheritance arrives and asks for help.
I loaned her almost, $100,000 to aid her legal fight to get her inheritance.
He begins to suspect that the woman, who has been his best friend for over 4 years, may not be who she claims to be.
She'd created dozens of Google Voice accounts to create phone numbers that she would text herself as, and create email accounts that she would email herself as, and show people, look what this barrister emailed me, look what my cousin Finton emailed me. None of that was real. It was all smoke and mirrors.
Mair Smyth's house of cards begins to disintegrate when she makes the outlandish claim that authorities have jailed her for money laundering. When Johnathan digs deeper into her claims, he learns through public records that authorities have actually arrested her for felony grand theft. When Johnathan confronts her, she denies the accusations. Johnathan quickly ends his friendship with Mair and goes to the police.
I was angry and I went to police and they kind of told me there was nothing they could do. Good luck. So I started my own investigation. I started a blog. I started a website, JonathanWalton.com, just to share my story and warn people about this woman. And sure enough, as the days turned into weeks and the weeks turned into months, other victims of Mair Smyth started contacting me through my website with the craziest stories of how she scammed them.
Johnathan Walton started a podcast, Queen of the Con, the Irish heiress, to tell his story and expose Mair Smyth to the world. Earlier, we caught up with him to chat about the case. Take a look.
I have to ask you, what personality traits do you think that you possess that made her target you?
You see, I've since come to learn, con artists are like sharks. They're not targeting any one person. They're targeting everyone. Whoever is in their sphere is a target, and they do it indiscriminately. So she didn't target me. She just happened to move into my building and become my neighbor. And we had a meeting to discuss this huge problem we were having, and she had all the solutions, and she was so kind and funny and clever and smart, and she was so lovable. Con artists are lovable.
She's conned dozens of people, but
Yes.
You're the only one who spoke out. Why do you think people are embarrassed? Why is that?
I think the majority of con artist victims are, yes, embarrassed. They're shackled by the fear of, what are people gonna think? They're scared that people are gonna think less of them because they fell for a con. But, as an openly gay man, I came out when I was 30, and I already divorced myself from caring what people think because, the majority of the world does not hold gay people in high esteem particularly. So I didn't have that. I didn't have that fear of what are people going to think. So that never held me back.
What did she take from you that's harder to get back? Like when I asked that, I mean, like emotionally, physically, like what did she take from Johnathan?
Well, I I don't trust anyone ever now. I background check everyone new that comes into my life. And even people I thought I knew, I background check all of them. And I found out some pretty amazing things. Not that they're con artists, but the truth of the matter is, when I met Mair Smyth, if I'd have just run a background check on her off the bat, I would have found all these felonies in other states for fraud and grand theft and you know, fabricating documents. She was charged with all these crimes over the years. But how many times do you think to run a background check on someone you meet? You never do, but now I do that for everyone. So I'm forever suspicious of everyone.
How about something for like me and Al and our audience? I know maybe not to run something extensive as a background check, just something to look out for. Are there signs that someone's trying to con you?
Yeah, they are everywhere. Here's a red flag number one. Kindness. If you meet someone new and they're just super kind and they want to pay for things and they want to buy you gifts and they want to become your friend real quick, there's a good chance you're being set up for a con, because no one's that kind. That was Mair. She was super kind, but you know, she was grooming people to con them. And another good red flag is drama. Listen, bad things happen to people all the time. People's, you know, children die. People get raped at a bar. People get cancer. But every bad thing doesn't happen to the same person at the same time. You know, con artists like to create a lot of drama and confusion, and they like to rope you in, because I've said this many, many times. Con artists, they're not smarter than you. They're not going to outsmart you. Con artists outfeel you. They get into your heart. They use your emotion to scam you. So if they can ensnare you in tons of drama and have you care about them and want to help them, that's you know, they're half the way to conning you, because once you start making decisions based on your heart, your brain checks out. You know, love is the most powerful thing there is in the world. And if a con artist can get you to love them, you'll do crazy things to help them because you think you're trying to do the right thing, you know?
Johnathan, very informative. Thank you so much for chatting with us today. And if you'd like to hear more about Johnathan's story, listen to Queen of the Con, the Irish Heiress, available on any podcast player. Johnathan, thanks again, man.
And Johnathan, you can trust
so much.
us. We're safe.
Thank you. Yes, great. That's good to hear.
All right.